Everyone, welcome to my kitchen. You're in the kitchen with KK, and we are going to get creative and put together something super fun. I haven't made it in a very long time, and I'm going to switch it up today right on the air with you. I want you to have confidence in the kitchen and not have to make excuses that you don't have time. My hair is ready. I'm half ready to go to the theater. I need to be ready in an hour. And I've been prepping smoothies and stuff for the week, but I'm going to put together a soup. I'm going to do it here with you. So we're going to be doing a green bean potato soup. We're going to be adding in some beans for extra fiber, but two things that kind of get a bad rap, around nutrition. And we have to look at food for the power that it has and not focus on, oh, potatoes have too much sugar or they're no good. Well, the thing is that potatoes do have a lot of benefits. If you are having troubles with the nightshade varieties, including some of the sweet bell peppers, the eggplant, and potatoes, just cut back on them. But people think about and they talk about putting on healthy weight. Well, first of all, you got to lift weights to put on muscle, and you got to eat nature's carbs and food that actually helps your body build muscle. It doesn't just come from eating protein, and it doesn't just come from counting your macros. This makes me insane when people talk about this, because it's just as bad as counting calories or counting your points. If you're doing something like that, takes away all the beauty that food is meant to be. So potatoes, fantastic. Yes, they do convert to sugar. So you got to mix them with more fiber. We're going to be mixing them with green beans, which have fiber, and we're going to be adding in some beans. Now, typically I would add a great northern beans or the cannellini beans, white beans, but I thought I had some, I didn't. So I'm just going to put in garbanzo beans. Fantastic, easy to digest, going to give you really great, not just fiber, they're going to give you really great protein sources and B vitamins. The micronutrients are what most people are missing. When I talk about vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, those phytonutrients, those are the micronutrients. That's what we're missing. So let's take a look at what we're putting in here. Every soup base that I start with, very similar. I generally start with a little bit of avocado oil because I'm going to heat that up pretty high. You could get away with some olive oil, but if you're heating it too high, I like to save my high quality olive oil, keeping it raw, keeping those phytonutrients really, really powerful without heating them and oxidizing. So a high quality, a high temperature heat oil like avocado is better for this. We're going to sear up some onions. Onions in soup give it really great flavor. I like a white or a yellow onion in this. You could actually use a Valencia in this to a little bit sweeter. And I always like a little bit of rough cut garlic. Now, I also have some leeks left over from a recipe. So leeks are part of the onion family. So you can add some of these. It's going to give it an interesting texture that you might not normally get. So get creative. Go off recipe. I want you to feel relaxed here. You're not being judged. And by the way, you're going to typically make things much better for your health than many of the chefs that you're giving your power away to every time you go out to eat. Because potatoes, they get a bad rap because of the harmful oils they are cooked in. Every fry basket, every fryer, deep fryer, it doesn't have high quality oil, trust me. And those oils, oxidative seed oils, they will stay in your cells as a destruction mode for a very long time. It's a whole scientific part behind that, but that is why seed oils are so detrimental and inflammatory to our cells. If your cells are inflamed, they're not working. If your cells are not working, you will have a disease response. Okay, so we're going to cut up. I've already sliced up the onions here. The leeks, just a very thin slice like this. So I'm going to go through and do all that. The beans. Now, I grew up with beans in Vermont. We had a beautiful summer garden. So picking the beans. Now, it was a lot of work because they didn't come in a bag like this, organic, all trimmed, all lined up. Oh my God, how easy is this? You just rinse them off, and now you're going to line them up, and you just cut them into pieces that are about an inch long to go in here. Great. And these little baby potatoes, now we didn't have the baby potatoes. We had one kind of potato. We had a like a cellar that had where we stored potatoes throughout the winter. So we were definitely meat and potato people. So these are yellow baby potatoes. I'm going to leave the skin on here. So what else is great about potatoes? It's the potassium. You're going to get more potassium and healing in the potato skin. In fact, if you don't feel like you want the potassium benefit, but you don't feel like your blood sugar can handle potato, you're just going to cook up the skins and drink the fluid from that. You're going to get a ton. So what else is in here? Okay, lysine. Lysine is an amino acid, very important. A lot of people take supplements, lysine. It's very helpful when you have any type of viruses, especially Epstein-Barr, any of the herpes virus. Almost everybody has some type of herpes simplex in their body, especially if you're over 20 years old. Epstein-Barr, I think I had it when I was a baby. I had mononucleosis. No one told me about that. No one told me how it was going to develop in the body, what not to feed it. So lysine is a great weapon to that. And autoimmune. So many different varieties of autoimmune. And all the arthritis is part of that. So what else? Of course, vitamin B6. All of the B vitamins are essential for your liver to complete the phase of detoxification, plus to give you energy and for your cognitive health. It represents the very first section of my cookbook, Simple Cooking for Vitality. When I talk about all those B vitamins, it's just amazing to see all the food that makes up all of those different B vitamins, and it's fantastic. Okay, so I am going to trim those. You don't need to do it on the air. And then these are organic French green beans. I like them. They're they're slim and they're straight and they're not knobby. But when we used to pick green beans right off the bush, oh my gosh. And that's where, when I talk about bioenergetics, it is the study of energy in living systems. Food has energy. That energy provides information to the cells and your body. And that's what bioenergetic cooking is about. But the deeper part is to help you understand just how important food is and to gain that reverence, because reverence is going to help you lodge a mindfulness around your eating. And when you combine that with raising the value that you have for yourself, the value you have around your health, you're going to make better choices. And mindfulness gives you that time to make better choices when you're out and about or when you're at parties. Okay, so we're going to be cutting these up. The micronutrients that are going to be found in green beans, vitamin C, vitamin A, these are antioxidants as well. Also, the liver requires them. Vitamin A is converted in the beta carotene is converted into vitamin A, but also vitamin K. All the greens have a vitamin K that's helping with blood clotting and other. Iron, very big. Fiber, very big. We want the fiber to help carry things through the body and to slow and keep that blood sugar nice and stable. Slow the process of getting the glucose into the cell. So I work with a lot of people that are insulin resistant already. We want to keep our bodies insulin sensitive. And that's why I utilize fasting techniques. It's a free method to help your body do the job it knows how to do. It's amazing. That's why I never diet, never count calories. My weight is consistent because I'm doing these. And that's what I teach my clients in different classes. Those micronutrients are low. There's a low caloric value. So we're going to be adding it. So this is a really great soup. Now, if you want to keep it completely vegetarian, you would not use a clean bone broth. You could use a bone broth. You're going to get more protein, but you can use a chicken broth if you want that type of chicken-based flavor to it. Make sure it's organic, clean, no MSG, no flavors added. Natural flavors is a signal that you should not buy it. When I teach reading the labels, that's one thing you have to get around is flavors. It can be code for MSG. So also the omega-3s in here. People spend a lot of money on over-the-counter ALA. They even get IVs, but you can get it through your food. And actually, green beans has that as well as lutein. Just like the skin of zucchini, lutein and zeaxanthin, very important antioxidants for our eye health, to the prevention of macular degeneration. It's not inevitable. You need to have some antioxidants as you get older to help your cells. You also need to encourage those bad cells to die off. So I'm going to be cutting these up. I have this awesome countertop induction plate here. So I'm heating up a Le Creuset Dutch oven. Everyone should have one. Invest in it. It's perfect. It's gorgeous. Keep it on the top of your stove. You will make soups. Make a soup on a Sunday. Even if you don't eat it, you're going to put it in jars. Typically, my soups make 4 jars. Some make 5. That means you have 2 for the refrigerator, 2 for the freezer. You always have something available that's healthy and delicious to fill you up even when you're on the go. Okay, so I have this on medium high, actually high, and it is ready. I'm going to turn it down now. And we're going to be adding the avocado oil. So we'll get the onions getting translucent and getting the flavor going. That sizzle of onions brings everybody running. It's just fantastic. Now, I am going to cut up the leeks. I'm going to cut up the beans and the potato. Just put them in my little prep bowls. Make sure you have these great little aluminum prep bowls. You can get them on Amazon. Super easy. They'll be here in a day. So we'll be right back while those onions are getting translucent. Thanks for tuning in today. Now, I am very quick in my prep because I prep all the time, especially when I'm cooking for clients, and I want to get the most into, the time that they're paying me for. So remember, excellence is what you repeatedly do. So when you get used to making different recipes, you just get better at it. So these beans that come all nice and lined up for you, all I did was trim off the ends, make a nice fresh cut here, just in case they were starting to oxidize a little bit on the ends. And then just cut your stack. It's like a log into 3. Use your little scraper, and you're done with the beans. So how big is this? Maybe 3/4 of an inch or so, right? And that's helpful. The onions here are already getting translucent. I've cut up the leeks. Now you don't need to put leeks in here. I'm just putting them in because you can't screw up a soup. It's going to be awesome to have these in here because it's going to be different. So you don't have to add leeks. I just had them in the oven, in the refrigerator. So I want to use them. So I'm going to toss them around to get them flavorful. It's still a medium high because I want these to cook up a bit. The potatoes, I'm going to put in the garlic as soon as all of those are a little bit fragrant. These potatoes are about this big. They're cute little creamers, and they're also going to make it smooth and creamy. So you're not going to have to I don't add milk, no dairy. Dairy is very sluggish on your lymphatic system, especially during spleen season. You want to lighten up when it's super hot outside. We're in the dog days of summer. We're in late summer, that spleen and stomach. We want to lighten up, but we want to fuel that body because we're weaving ourselves into the fall. And we need to feed ourselves in a way that's going to help us to accomplish, because that's what this time of the year is about. It's about accomplishing those things. You start new goals in the spring, you nurture them and grow them and get super creative during, the summer. And now you're finishing that so you can bring it to the market in the fall. So depending on the size of the potato, I'm just quartering these. Make sure you hold it. And when anything is a round circle like that, they can roll. So just be careful when you are cutting. So we're going to be adding the garlic now. These are very fragrant. And I'm going to be getting in the spices. I'm just making up the spices. I do like a bay leaf in my soups. It's going to add a nice, it's a nice flavor. Hard to tell you what it is, but it adds that unique soupy kind of flavor that you love, you've grown to love, and maybe you don't even know what it is. At least a half a teaspoon of these 2. Thyme is going to be perfect for this, and so is herbes de Provence. Okay, Great blend. So we're going to get in half of this, and a little bit of fresh chopped rosemary could work really well in this soup. Play around, because like I said, I really want you to be creative. We're gonna put some sea salt in there. You're never gonna over salt your soups. You're going to buy broths that are either low sodium or hardly any. That way you can choose to add your own, because if you have low blood pressure and you take a little salt, you'll see it helps you. But a lot of people have high blood pressure, and it comes from all the processed food, all the cooking, going out to restaurants a lot, where your salt content is going to be high. Once you cook at home a lot, and people that eat my food and myself, you'll notice that high salt, and you're like, whoa, way too much. So let's get this tossed around. And now we're going to smell those herbs get really fragrant. I'm going to put in a little bit of the broth now, just to keep things from sticking to the pan. I'm going to add in the potatoes and the beans. I mean, soups are so easy, right? And then we're going to turn this down, and it's going to do its job cooking for at least 40 minutes. I'm not adding in the garbanzo beans yet. I want to cook down the veggies a little bit, get them softened, because these are already pressure cooked. Eden brand is what I use. They're pressure cooked, and they're cooked in seaweed. That's why I like them. Dr. Gundry likes them as well. And that is wonderful. So we're not going to add in all the broth yet. We're going to add in all this. And I'm going to put the cover on for at least 5 minutes, and then we'll come back. So thanks for joining in for this really fragrant, it smells amazing soup. It's going to be so satisfying. So we're back. It's almost been 10 minutes. And what happens when you put the cover on, a little bit of broth, not the whole thing, it's going to start to soften the beans. They're going to get nice and bright green here. It smells incredible. As soon as you take off this pot, by the way, this stops. So let's get this back on. That's why it's got a built-in safety feature. So now the sea salt. So I have a little salt container here. I keep my Celtic sea salt in here. This is something that I would add to the water if I'm making a pasta or something like that. And then I have the pink fine Himalayan sea salt that I also use. But that's what this is what I would probably add to my soup. Just enough, good high quality. This is also another shaker that I have, and these are the tricolored pepper. It's a tricolored pepper, so get those in into the mix. This is nice. I also have the one that I get at Sur La Table. Lemon pepper is something else that you can put into this. Those are all fantastic. I'm going to add the broth now, and then we're going to turn it down so we can start the simmering process. After the potatoes and the beans have softened, that's probably going to be, let's bring this up. We're going to put it down to simmer, probably another 25 minutes or so. I'm going to add a little bit of coconut cream to get it creamier. You don't have to, but coconut, so clean coconut cream with no guar gum. So the Nature's Forest Simple has no guar. Read those labels, no guar gum. You'll see the difference huge once you get used to it, because guar gum is very detrimental to those very small cells that line your intestinal wall. So we'll keep the yeah, I'll put the garbanzo beans in now. That is fine. These are a little bit firmer than the white beans, so I would probably put white beans in a little bit later. So set your timer. We're going to get this to a boil, then bring it down, and then let it simmer for about 20 minutes, and then check your potatoes and your beans. That's how quick and easy soups are. So it only took about 5 minutes on medium high to come to a boil. It is down on medium now. It's smelling amazing in the house. That is one thing that soups are really great for, and it's a one pot deal. So these Dutch ovens are made to heat around and stay low. So I've already gotten out my herb tray, which I'm going to add fresh parsley to the soup right when it's ready to serve. I might even put a little squeeze of lemon. So we'll be back when we're finishing this up. Okay, so I've changed because I'm getting ready to leave. And that's how quick you can make soups. I'm just going to add a quarter of a cup of some coconut cream I had saved in a glass jar. If you open it in a can, put it into a glass jar. This is just going to add a little bit more satiety, a little creaminess. Very, very simple. It's not too much, but we're not putting in dairy. So we'll be back after this is cooked for like at least a half hour, depending on how soft you want it. I actually like it not too soft and the beans to be nice and bright green. So we'll get this loaded and we'll get some parsley on top and finish this off, and that is fantastic. Okay, so we are ready to scoop it into the bowl. It is looking amazing. The skin starts to separate a little bit from the potato. And let's just let you see how gorgeous this is. The nice deep bowl. Let's get a little more broth in there. See how wonderful this looks here. So now when you have the jars of your parsley and other herbs in the refrigerator, you're going to be more apt to get them out and just cut a little bit of fresh parsley onto the top here. You're going to love the added flavor. Your body's going to love the nutrients from this. Very amazing. So you'll be able to taste, and so fresh. The parsley just adds such freshness. You're just going to really love this. It's going to be super satisfying, lots of fiber, going to fill you up. So I hope you love making this quick summer dish soup to celebrate potatoes in a healthier way. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to KK's Fit Kitchen. And I love that you follow me here. Send me a note. Let me know where you're listening from. It's fantastic. If you enjoy this, share it with friends. Thank you so much.